Science is political. Hasan is right. Newsom would just create a slow decline to fascism. Also, all the liberals wanting to start the vote blue no matter who before the primary, before the midterms, they were really quiet about Zoran. This is in reference to Hasan Piker was on with Jennifer Welch on it was I've Had It, right?
No, it was a third-person show. I'm not as familiar with.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, he was asked, Gavin Newsom and J.D. Vance, who would you vote for? Hasan, being in California, is A, both very familiar with Gavin Newsom, and B, in California. And he said he would vote third party. Now, I assume people are not upset about how he's going to vote personally because it's California. And as I've said many times, like, you know, the issue in a safe state, who you're going to vote for is sort of secondary. But also, and I am someone who votes for the lesser of two evils. But the idea that you would espouse the voting of the lesser of two evils in a primary, because that's where we are. Let's be clear. There is no nominee for the Democratic primary, and there is no nominee for the Republican.
Thank you. The context of you living in California was missed by so many people. It doesn't matter. I think people are more honest than that. I think it's a little bit cope to say, oh, he lives in California. I know I have I know I have influence over people that don't live in California, okay? When I say something like that, I'm aware of what I'm saying. I'm not doing the oh, well, I'm in California, who cares? Like, I think that's cope. No, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I'm saying that not as a California voter. I'm saying that as like I'm saying that with the full understanding and the full knowledge and the responsibility of someone with a audience that is far larger than California. Now, the first part of that story, as far as like having firsthand experience with Gavin Newsom being a Californian, that's true. That definitely plays a role in my assessment. But did you hear about the DNC audit with your name on it? Oh, come on, chatter. Now is not the time for memes, okay?
I should say there's no Democratic nominee for the presidency, and there's no Republican nominee for the presidency. The idea that you would even remotely perturbed during essentially what we're in is the pre-primary or the primary for 2028 as to what people are saying. I mean, I would imagine when we were in 2020 saying something to the effect of like, I can't even imagine voting for Joe Biden. It is stupid. And what it does to me when people do that, I mean, obviously, yes, there's the hypocrisy about Chuck Schumer not voting for Zoran and
entire
and Jeffries, like, you know, endorsing so late. I mean, all of that. It just goes to show like they don't even believe that stuff. Yeah. But in fact, I probably believe it more than they do.
Oh, for sure.
Probably Hasan does.
But the idea that you would chastise somebody during a primary for such a thing gives away the game to me. Like I am very late to the awareness of people being, and obviously now we have stories about how people are being paid online, influencers and stuff like that. I mean, I started doing this at a time where the idea of that was absurd. There was no even mechanism for anything like that. And so it never really occurs to me, but like, I am just shocked that there is supposedly this many people motivated about who you're going to vote for in the 2028 presidential election. Like we're not even in the primary yet. It's a very weird reaction.
Especially in the context of the previous election and what happened, say, in Michigan.
Yes. And I will also say, like, what's clearly going on right now, to the extent that there is any competition for the Democratic establishment and the narrative about which politics work better for the country, it is quite clear who is winning, at least relative to this competition in the past. And there was a poll, this Harry Hamden clip that was going around. The number of voters who have said that the Democratic Party is too liberal is 10% higher now than it was, I think, like I don't know, 2024 or in the past 2 years or something. Now,
How clueless. Admitting you have influence, but say you'd vote third party when 99% of your audience would suffer under Vance like they are under Trump. Is it clueless or is it a warning? Is it clueless or do I want to make sure that we defeat the Republicans, you think? I've been doing this. This is not my first election cycle. I've been doing this for the past 10 years, right? I started doing this in 2016. It's been a decade. I've been doing professional media coverage publicly since 2016, even before then, but started developing an audience in 2016. I can't always wait for people to learn through numerous election cycles and failure to arrive at the conclusions that you will inevitably arrive at. We've played this song and dance over and over again. 2016 with Bernie Sanders. And in 2020 with Joe Biden, we said he would usher in a new wave of fascism. He would be feckless. He would be ineffective. He would be an establishment Democrat. And that, in a moment of instability, that fecklessness would have yielded a much worse version of fascism, and it did. You're so dumb, Hasan. I watched the other content creator, and he constantly told me that Biden failing to deliver on his progressive agenda and reverting to neolib bullshit would just lead to fascist winning. People have the power. People think you have the power to swing hundreds of thousands of voters. It doesn't matter. I'm speaking as though I do. I'm speaking as though I do. If I have the power to swing hundreds of thousands of voters, then you have to listen to me. If I don't have that motion at all, then you don't have to complain about what I'm saying. Because on the one hand, you're complaining like I do have the capacity to swing hundreds of thousands of voters, but you aren't acting like I have that power. Because if I have that power, I'm a very important part of your base of support, and you have to come to me and you have to say, how do we get you on board with this mission? How do we get you on board with the Democratic Party's agenda? My attitude around this isn't just to say, I'm withholding my vote, so you have to come to me, for the record. Okay? My attitude on this is not about that at all. I know that in order to win me over, you have to do certain things that will win everybody else over. The actual moderates, the self-identifying moderates, the independents, the people living in the heartland and the swing states. That's what my demands are. I'm rich at the end of the day. I can pay for my health care. Why do I want Medicare for all? Why do I want a higher percentage, people like myself, to pay a higher percentage in their yearly net worth growth in taxes, in a higher real tax rate for people like myself? Why do I want that? I don't want it for myself directly. Well, for my selfish reasons is because I think that'll yield a more prosperous nation for every single person. It'll be a nicer place to live in. We'll be able to pay for things like public transit, social housing, less homelessness, more cohesion, better education, so I don't have to listen to dumbasses all the time, right? So those are my selfish reasons, because I think this will be better overall for this country. I want to live in a developed nation, not a developing nation with a Gucci belt on. But overall, what I'm demanding from the Democrats is to move in the direction of good policy and good politics that will bring back people that have left the party, okay? That's it. That's what I want.
in my mind, yeah, but I scroll through to where it was.
99, is that the...
Keep going. Okay, no, okay. So right now we've seen that 42% of, I was shocked by this, of Democrats who perceive themselves as democratic socialists, 42% under the age of 35 do, 33% of all Democrats do, which I was shocked by.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I would expect that to be a bigger difference in those age numbers. Yeah, the older Dems.
But keep going.
Your
Keep
message
going
changes
down.
every cycle. What the f- are you talking about? Oh, he's memeing.
And then the argument is being made here. Okay, so in 2013, back during Obama, 48% of voters say Democrats are too liberal. In 2025, 58%. The problem is, I will tell you this right now. In 2004, if you said you were a liberal, you would be pilloried by everybody from the right, because it was considered like liberal meant communist. Like literally, the whole word progressive really came in as a word to say other than liberal. In that era, that's what it meant. And
Yeah.
15 years later, sometime in like 2017, 2018, if you identified as a liberal, you would not get attacked by someone on the right. Like, I had people call me on Air America saying like, you're a liberal. And I would say, dude, I'm to the left of that. And they'd be like, what? You just admitted it. Like, literally, I was like, yes, I'm doing a radio show.
I remember this era well.
And if I said I'm a liberal in 2018 on this show, the calls I would get would not be conservatives going, you just admitted it. It would be all people from the left, mostly younger than me. A lot of people are now, saying like, I knew it. And so the idea that like there's 10% extra who's saying that Democrats are too liberal, I don't think it means what it would have meant in 2013 or 1996.
Yeah, and this stems from a lack of political education in the United States of America. And some might say that is by design, by the way. United States of America is the only country on the planet where liberal means the entirety of the left flank. Okay? Liberalism is not a left-wing ideology at all. Liberalism is a right-wing ideology. Everywhere else around the world. Now, of course, liberals will get mad at me for saying this. American liberals will get mad and they'll be like, Hasan, what are you talking about? The Democratic Party is the most like woke party on the planet. Yeah, on social policies, the Democrats are definitely a lot more, I guess, socially progressive than most other OECD nations. This is true, at least in their policy platform. Not in the implementation of certain things, but, at least like what they say they want to defend, right? But the economics of it all, the Democrats are actually incredibly right-wing, more right-wing than the average liberal party, sometimes even the conservative party. This is something that a lot of Americans do not comprehend. Americans think like liberalism is it. That's it. That's the whole left flank. From communists, people like myself are called very liberal, right? And I hate it. All the way to Nancy fucking Pelosi. The reality of the matter is both the Republicans and the Democrats are broadly liberal. But in the international understanding, like in the political theory understanding of liberal, they're right wing. Just sucks, but it's the truth. America has a center-right and a far-right party. Or rather, if things continue the way they are, America will have a far-right and a fascist party. One party that is no longer liberal at all, a post-liberal fascist party, and a right-wing, maybe not far-right, but a right-wing Democratic party. Problem is, we don't have the language, the appropriate language, and the appropriate political education to understand this dynamic here. And that's the reason why you have these kinds of issues on the polling. I don't believe that if the specific delineation was made, that like all of a sudden there would be like, this massive growth of self-identifying socialists overall. I think that it would still be marginal, especially considering that we do live in a liberal monoculture. Capitalism is hegemonic. People don't have the proper understanding of what socialism is. It is a real surprise that someone like myself has even this community that I have of self-identifying socialists. Let's be fucking real. Like, this is a really unique thing for America. I think a lot of people forget how unique this is. What we have here is insane, okay? Which is part of the reason why I never take it for granted. I always talk about, I always think about how fortunate I am, how privileged I am for this reason. I guess what I'm trying to say is, ultimately, due to the lack of political education, even if we were to make this specific designation between liberals and socialists, I still think a lot less people than we need would self-identify as socialists. However, it's still good to make this designation, to make this, to make sure that we know what this difference is. Because slowly but surely, you could actually grow the socialist movement that way. And for the record, there's already also always going to be internal fighting as well, because there is different tendencies. There's different Marxist tendencies. In the United States of America, the left tent, at least for the time being, still also features social democrats, for example. I would not say that about Europe. Since Olof Palme, there is no such thing as a real social democrat movement in any of these countries. Many of them have literally become Nazis, right? So when you see a European say that they're a social democrat, know that you're talking to someone that is maybe even to the right of the average Democrat in America. Okay? So America is different because we don't have these robust social safety nets. We don't have these social safety nets at all. But the reason why all the Euroids are chirping, look, I said when you hear someone say they're a European social democrat, run. And every Euroid is getting mad, okay? You're a moderate. Just know you're a moderate. If you're dude, even Euro communists, I think Euro communoids are probably the closest to a American social democrat. Get mad at me all day. F it. I don't give a shit. No, that's just wrong. Don't put us all in the same bag. Some of us are very, very, very much to the left. No, I'm around. Europe has a much longer tradition of socialism and communism. It's just, I think proximity to the Soviets have cooked your brains. It's too hard. Like even the furthest, I feel like even the furthest like left Euro communoid is still anti-Soviet, anti-USSR, anti-CCP. Like there are a lot of revisionist tendencies, I think, in the Euro communists. But maybe I'm wrong. Not true. Okay. If you say so. Yeah, Euro Communist Party name, kill all America Cacans in the glory of Chairman Mao. Their policies, moderate social democrat. Europe is not a country and Western Europe doesn't represent the entire continent. You're really trying to talk about Eastern Europe now? True, but Americans got used to there being something outside of liberals as a tag. They will get there one day. Anyway, listen, you guys were having a grand old time. All you Euroids were having a grand old time when I was shitting on America, okay? I'm going to get back to shitting on America now. Don't worry. In America, given the material realities, social democrats are definitely a part of the left as well, even though they're obviously capitalist. Because even democratic socialists, when they run for office, they run on social democratic policies, right? There's no world where you can expand beyond that. You just say, oh, I'm a democratic socialist. I want to, work within the confines of the bourgeois electoral system, within one of the two bourgeois liberal parties to get modest social safety nets for the workers. That's it. That's the most radical person you will encounter. Like Zioran Mossadegh, AOCIA, Bernie SS Anders, right? That's how it is. Let's be real. That's before we even talk about their foreign policy. Okay? So for that reason, I factor social democrats into this left position as well. I mean, Sam Seder is a social democrat, right? Hasan Piker is another example. Yes, I am a gross American chauvinist, a Western chauvinist, a white supremacist through and through. This is reflected in my consistent analysis of all of the resistance front against American empire and all of its allies. This is how that's the reason why I get called a terrorist every day by, everyone pretty much. Okay, call me a terrorist, but don't call me a trot. Come on, let's get real now. I still think we need to make this distinction, though. I think more political education is a good thing. Because I think first you unlock that political education, and then you continue educating people, and you help unlock class consciousness. You help them recognize that they might be more socialist curious than they thought they were. And that's my goal.
I think it means that there are people who are going like, they support Zionism. They are too wishy-washy on shit.
Partner with capitalists.
They partner with capitalists. I mean, it only makes sense. I would like to see what the numbers of Democrats that associated themselves with as being democratic socialists in 2013 and 1996. But the point is, you're seeing polling like this because there is a concerted effort. Every day I read, there's another group out there funded by crypto money, whatever it is. Stories that Chuck Schumer is actually doing a good job recruiting Senate candidates. Really? Because it doesn't look like the Chuck Schumer picked candidate is going to win in Michigan. May not be my chosen candidate, but McMurrow wasn't picked by Schumer. In Maine, I just looked at the fundraising numbers for Janet Mills. I mean, Maine Democrats don't want Janet Mills. Plattner is probably going to win that.
Pills
Knock on
Mafia,
wood.
baby. Rise up, Pills heads. Hey, Pills Mafia. Let's go. Janet Pills mention. That's my girl. I'm a Janitsary. Janissaries, rise up. All socialists, even communists running on liberal democratic systems are de facto social democrats. You can't run an election on we are going to overturn capitalism. You run on policy issues. It's a reformist in nature. Yes. I mean, what you're describing is quite literally the reason why I described what I described about Euro-communists and communist parties in every other Western aligned nation. Communist parties in every Western aligned nation have resorted to. I mean, they've all become reformists. This friction already played itself out. The revolutionaries got killed. They got destroyed. They got murdered. They got jailed. They got imprisoned. And so what remains is reformists. That's the reason why the Japanese Communist Party looks the way it does. That's the reason why most communist parties are that way in Europe as well. CPUSA, PSL, and FRSO aren't reformists. Yes, they're also nothing. Yeah, I know. There's a bunch of German communist parties as well. Beyond what people consider to be like Die Linke is the most, I guess, what is it? It's like Die Linke is the most viable left party, right? Yeah, there's crazy parties in Germany with 8 people in them, It's like, bro, it's like coming to me and being like, I know you're going to make fun of me, but I have a Enver Hoxha party that I am implementing in Lithuania, and we are going to do true Maoism in Lithuania, and we are no longer engaging in the vulgar revisionist, the shitty revisionist, bastardized, watered down version of Marxist-Leninism. We're doing true Marxist-Leninism, Hoxhaism. You're acting like they do nothing. I mean, for the most part, they don't. I love the PSL. I rep the PSL pretty hard, but it's crazy to say that they are doing things, right? Also, CPUSA CPUSA endorsed Joe Biden. CPUSA is more liberal aligned than the DSA is, if that's the same one we're talking about. Yeah, CPUSA is to the right of the DSA. The DSA is a Maoist caucus. What are you talking about? The DSA has... Wait, what? Sure, buddy? Wait, what? Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure the Communist Party of the United States of America literally endorsed Joe Biden. Anyway, it's not even a great example. I think PSL has CPUSA doing united frontism, except it's to elect Hillary Clinton. DSA has Maoists, but they also have shit libs. Yes, that's true. They do. DSA is DSA is currently the biggest big tent left party out there in the United States of America. 100,000 paying members. That's very significant. Okay. They have caucuses for virtually every tendency out there, down to the Posadas. They have a meme caucus, The PSL is the most effective out of all those organizations that you mentioned. Having said that, however, the PSL, as far as having organizational capacity beyond doing tremendous amounts of work on the ground is they don't have a lot of they run candidates sometimes.
He didn't pick Osborne. Mary Patola. Was there anybody else running for Senate in Alaska? Is there? I don't think so. There's no evidence that Chuck Schumer has done anything.
PSL does good work, but I don't like the billionaire funding or opaque Congress structure. Nobody's perfect, I guess. Yes. They're not, but I don't really care that it's not billionaire funded. It's 100 millionaire funded. First of all, my boy, what's his name? Roy Singham. He does not have $1 billion. I think he was a 900 millionaire. Okay. Neville Roy Singham is his name. And secondly, he's woke. And I actually do respect what he does. Let's be real. I mean, that man has literally put his money where his mouth is. What more do you want? Unironically, he's also not Chinese. He's American, Chatters.
In terms of picking a good candidate for this.
Chatters said, why no DSA in Europe? Why no Democratic Socialists of America in Europe? Do you have African Americans in Turkey?
But they're trying to promote this notion. So I don't know. I think that
how do you make that much money? Sold something, I think, to Microsoft. He's a software engineer guy. Makes something, sells it to, I think he sells it to either Microsoft or something in 2016, maybe. And has been living in China. ThoughtWorks. Yeah. He's the reason why the Congress is that Congress is constantly going after Code Pink, Answer Coalition, all these different things, these like front organizations for the PSL. It's not, sorry, it wasn't the Microsoft. He sold to a private equity firm for $800 million.
If you see somebody bitching about Hasan Piker's answering of a completely hypothetical question at a time where if you believe that primaries are important, maybe you don't.
Do you think he's a class trader or a Fed? Dude, he lives in China. What do you mean? He's like, do you mean like a Fed for China? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what the American government is saying. Because he has a media company in China. And if you can't, as a foreigner, have a company in China that is not also controlled by the Chinese government, unless you're Elon Musk, I guess, technically. But no, he's not a Fed for America. No, he is a class trader. Yes.
In which case, I don't give a shit what you think, frankly. But if you believe that primaries are important, what difference does it, what he says now? I mean,
it's funny that he was in a black nationalist organization as a kid. He's Sri Lankan. Did they just think he fit in or something? No, I think he's Sri Lankan Guyanese. So I think he does have some African in him. Yeah, he went to Howard. He's not like full Sri Lankan. I'm pretty sure he's no, not like Zoran African. No, he is. Let's just look it up. I don't know why we're speculating. Yeah, I think he might be like half black. Or half Caribbean, like Afro Latino of some sort. I don't know. And half Sri Lankan maybe. Singham's father, Archibald Singham, was Sri Lankan in his youth. Singham was a member of the League of Revolutionary Black Workers, a black nationalist Maoist group. Taking a job at Chrysler plant in Detroit as an activist in the group. He attended Howard University. Where did I get that he was like, oh, this is why I thought. He's a Sri Lankan political scientist and professor of political science. He was an authority on the Caribbean and a participant in the non-aligned movement. Archibald Singham was born in British Burma to Sri Lankan parents. He was educated in Sri Lanka before doing his bachelor's in Wesleyan University. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe I just invented that he's like Guyanese or something. Singham taught briefly at University of Michigan. This is his dad. Before being recruited as one of the black scholars despite his Asian heritage by Andrew Billingsley to Howard. He also taught at University of Manchester in England before moving to Brooklyn College. In his testimony to U.S. Congress, Singham criticized the 1983 United States invasion of Grenada and called for the U.S. to withdraw its troops. Singham died on the 13th of March, 1991. Two books on peace were dedicated to Singham's memory. His son is the software entrepreneur Neville Roy Singham. Singham is a socialist benefactor of far-left cause and admirer of Maoism. That's my goat. According to the New York Times, he has provided significant funding for media outlets, organizations, and politicians around the world that promote pro-Chinese government propaganda. Yeah, Singham founded ThoughtWorks, a Chicago-based IT consulting company that provides custom software tools, and consulting services in the late 80s. It was incorporated in 1993. In 2005, ThoughtWorks opened offices in China. From 2001 to 2008, Singham was a strategic technical consultant for Huawei. By 2008, ThoughtWorks employed 1,000 people and was growing at a rate of 20 to 30% per annum, with locations around the world. His clients include Microsoft, Oracle, major banks, The Guardian newspaper. Singham owned 97% of the common stock of the company. By 2010, its clients included Daimler AG, Siemens, Barclays, a company that opened a second headquarters in Bangalore. In 2010, Singham opened ThoughtWorks' 5th Agile Software Development Conference in Beijing, where he spoke about his influence on Huawei. Singham sold ThoughtWorks to private equity firm Apex Partners in 2017 for $785 million, by which time it had 4,500 employees across 15 countries, including South Africa and Uganda. His chief scientist, Martin Fowler, wrote that Singham had not been involved in the running of the business for some years by that time. After selling the company, he moved to China, where he owns or co-owns a number of businesses. In 2019, he started a consulting business with partners who also co-own with a Chinese municipality. I'm curious that Fox never talks about him. Are you kidding me? They talk about him all the time. The State Department, Congress literally is right now trying to create legislation specifically around Roy Singham. Fox News covers him all the fucking time. The Department of Homeland Security, or the State Department's Twitter account, recently posted about the Answer Coalition and Code Pink. This guy is like what people think George Soros is, I guess, but except he has way less motion than George Soros and is not like a neoliberal. His design for the world is socialist. Like George Soros, when he does all of his like contributions, like when the Soros Foundation and all the other like Open Societies Foundation, like when they're doing those contributions, they have a goal in mind, a goal that is very much aligned with the American government as well, whether it be in Ukraine or elsewhere. Whereas this guy's takes they're diametrically the opposite of American State Department interests. He is a socialist through and through, straight up. As of 2023, his office in Shanghai is shared with the Maku Group, whose goal is to educate foreigners about the miracles that China has created on the world stage, to which Singham has given nearly $1.8 million in funding. Singham praised Hugo Chavez, describing Venezuela under his rule as a phenomenally democratic place, my goat. He also described his admiration for China, where ThoughtWorks had a growing operation, describing it as a model for governance. China is teaching the West that the world is better off with a dual system of both free market adjustments and long-term planning. He's a supporter of WikiLeaks and its founder, Julian Assange. Speaking in his defense at the 2011 event hosted by the Real News Network, along with fellow activist software businessman Peter Thiel and former intelligence whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg. Alongside Ellsberg, he was also, Peter Thiel was pro-Julian Assange? Also for Aaron Schwartz, Jeremy Hammond, the latter was working for him at ThoughtWorks when he committed suicide while facing prosecution by the U.S. government. Singham, a friend of Schwartz, described his prosecution as a part of a coordinated campaign. During the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Singham was funding efforts to oppose NATO enlargement. July 2023, Singham joined a Communist Party workshop about international promotion of the Chinese Communist Party. Singham founded the People's Forum. This is what I was talking about too. A U.S. nonprofit group in New York City that's been associated with organizing the 2024 pro-Palestinian protests on university campuses. This is the reason why. So it's the People's Forum is a PSL front. And so is the Answer Coalition and Breakthrough News. Like, the reason why the PSL's front organizations are so well equipped is partially because of this guy. And I love it. I think it's great. I can't sing his praises enough. RevCom tactics? No. It's ironic because I think the PSL and its establishment was supposed to be like a trot party, but it is quite literally a Leninist party now. But I think like when it was first established, it was supposed to be, you can't compare this to RevCom at all. Yeah. PSL is a strictly Marxist-Leninist party. Trot's coming in hot to correct you that Trotskyism is Leninism. Stop. Cinephilia? Anyway, funding network and allegations of Chinese government links, all this stuff. India's enforcement directorate named Singham a money laundering case, alleging that he was the source of $380 million, $5 million given to the Indian news site People's Dispatch between 2018 and 2021 to promote a pro-Chinese narrative in the Indian media. Of course, the Indian government is going to prosecute this guy. According to a May 2023 article, the Daily Beast, there are connections between Singham and an organization on the far left that promotes CCP talking points. God, it's so funny the way that they write this shit. Including Breakthrough News, People's Dispatch, and other members of the International People's Media Network. The article said that they were overlapping personnel at a number of these organizations and media outlets without the actual office locations. The article says some members of Breakthrough News leadership is affiliated with the PSL. It's true. That is true. It's a front organization. I ain't got no issues with it. Great. They're making this sound scary. It's not. Okay? Yes, he's married to Jody Evans. In August 2023, the New York Times reported that Singham works closely with the Chinese government and state media and donates to various groups, news organizations, and entities through nonprofit groups and shell companies which spread pro-Chinese government messages. Chinese state media accounts had retweeted people and organizations in Mr. Singham's network 122 times since February 2020. It's actually an interesting point. Yeah, they would never talk about the lobbying that capitalists do this way because, first of all, this is like a kindergartner level of lobbying and intricate ties in comparison to like the average American think tank. It's not even a question. This is not even a droplet. This is why I always say one singular billionaire cannot actually overcome capitalism. If that was the case, then this would be the guy destroying capitalism. He's single-handedly doing it. Following the August New York Times report, Marco Rubio asked the United States Department of Justice to open an investigation into entities related to Singham for potential violations of FARA. The Delhi police also opened an investigation into NewsClick. He lives in Shanghai, married to Code Pink co-founder Jody Evans. I love Code Pink. Shouts out to Code Pink, who has become pro-China after marrying Singham in 2017. Singham has also become a major donor to Code Pink, with organizations from his network providing around a quarter of the budget. His son, Nathan Singham, works for the Tricontinental Institute for Social Research, which he funds. What is this? Candace is going there accusing Erica of grooming a 15-year-old? What? There's actually solid evidence that Erica did in fact groom a 15-year-old? What?
Had received a large influx of emails because Baron Coleman had a bit of a viral episode regarding...
Is Erica Kirk the most compromised person on the planet? She's like a one-stop shop of Israel, dude. Every day there's a new thing that comes out and I'm like, nah. It's like one of those things where, you know, like how Israel will take conspiracies and turn them into reality. It's how I feel about Erica Kirk. Like, it's one of the craziest stories of all time. You're like, Erica Kirk done did it again. She was, you know, dating Charlie Kirk's best friend in 2016, and Charlie Kirk was literally playing basketball with him, and now Charlie Kirk's best friend is a part of the Turning Point USA conference, and you're like, haha, that's not real. And you're like, oh my God, that's literally real. How is that possible? How is that possible? They'll be like, it was kind of weird the way she reacted to the untimely demise of her husband and the father of her children. And then you're like, nah, you're being a little crazy. And then she does the flare works, right? The, you know, crazy WWE style funeral proceedings. And you're like, okay, that's a little weird. I don't really understand what's going on. And then a couple months later down the line, you find out days after he died, she's like smiling and dialing about selling selling t-shirts. This is the minor's account that posted text between her and Erica when he was 15 and she was 25. This is to be the most heartfelt compliment I've ever gotten. Best compliment yet from Erica Franzva. You have the most stunning features. Wait, is this a woman? She was grooming a 15-year-old woman? It was a lesbian grooming situation? What? Erica Franzva, you have the most stunning features. Best compliment ever. Your eyes, your lips, your skin. You're absolutely beautiful. You're making me cry.
A seemingly weird relationship that Erica had with a then 15-year-old girl named Jillian. Erica was 25 years old at the time, and they developed a relationship that some people believe amounted to a type of grooming. Now we have
What? Keep strong and know you're loved. Happy birthday. Wait, what the? Okay, we'll watch the debunking too. Damn, there's an 11-minute white lady post. Let me call you on hold, sweetheart. Give me a sex. Wow. Okay, sex too, but not from you, lol. Holy shit, you always make me laugh. I don't bat for the other team just yet. I want to be inside your lady garden. Know what I'm saying? This Valentine's Day, I am going to touch your butt. What the is all this? Erica Franzva, one day I'm going to wake up, roll over on my side, and kiss the love of my life good morning. I mean, I guess some of these are like, I don't know. I mean, there is like somewhat of a plausible deniability situation. I don't know why a 25-year-old would actually talk to a 15-year-old. Why are exactly any of us believing this? Is Clandis, who said the other day that Charlie Kirk controlled things with his X-Men powers, and these are random people on the internet, man? Yeah. I don't know if this is like legit. I mean, when I saw the first post, I thought it was strange, but I feel like this one's iffy for me. I'll be honest. This one's a little iffy for me. I mean, I'm seeing myself out of this. Okay, let them fight if they want to, but I don't think this is, you know, this seems a little strange. Sorry, I mean, Charlie did control street lamps with his X-Men powers. That's just science fact, but she's not always right. No, the stuff that's like real is the shit that Turning Point USA people send to Candace Owens, like the Zoom calls and stuff. Like that stuff is strange, right? But this seems a little bit, you know, seems a little bit out there. I don't know. It's weird. It might be a stretch. I think it is. Yeah, I saw this though. This is real. Erica Kirk removed the wedding photo. I don't know what that's about.